Our team's pretty split since I think me and Ole think it's easier to play against Echo Fox, but the rest of the team thinks it's harder to play against them. I think it's because their top side's really strong, so like we get to experience playing against their bot lane, which we all know how that goes. And the top side is really the strong point of Echo Fox. I think Huni and Dardoch, they're like the voted #1 or whatever for the All Pro, and not just in terms of like votes and respect they get, but like they do play really well together. I think Echo Fox just has very like unique strengths because most teams they don't have such a lopsided situation going on, but they're definitely really topside focused.
Hello and welcome back for Game 3, where Echo Fox have selected the blue side. Had a little bit from a double lift there, but Altec, pretty big world of difference from Game 1 to Game 2.
Yeah, it brings up the question for Champ Select. Is Caitlyn the great equalizer here with the extra range?
Yeah, I mean, extra range, a super consistent laning phase. You can, siege turrets very well, and Altec did so much better on this pick compared to the Kalista, even though in Game 1 he got to start with First Blood, and they put all these bans into getting him this kind of matchup.
Yeah, he had a 0.6 KDA and 326 damage per minute in Game number 1, as you can see. And in Game number 2, 13 KDA with over 1,000 damage per minute. Yes, they also had better team play, and they had a more mid-game focus, but definitely can see the changes.
It makes you wonder how important the pick is going to be for the rest of this series, because Doublelift actually hasn't lost yet on Caitlyn. This split, he is now 4-0 after their Game 1 win on the champion, and he has been heavily prioritizing in the last couple weeks. It's been all about Jhin and Caitlyn, and he has not lost on either pick. So they have been banning out the Jhin, and if you can take away the Caitlyn too, you're pushing Doublelift down the list a fair bit.
Yeah, as the analyst desk kind of talked about, the ban phase from Echo Fox that has been entirely focused on the bottom lane, both the AD carries as well as the Morgana.
Well, looks like it's starting off the same way. Oh, there we go. Jhin already done. Spain banned by Team Liquid. Here we go again.
We could theoretically just see a first pick Caitlyn here for Echo Fox if they're prioritizing it that heavily. But if not, maybe they could swap up the Morgana pick or something like that.
Yeah, and you have to start to worry about what you're giving up as far as OP picks there back on the red side then.
Liquid, what's the final ban going to be? Because I get the feeling if they don't ban Caitlyn, Echo Fox are probably going to take it first pick.
It's definitely possible, but at the same time, we could just see an Olaf or a Ryze or something along those lines too. But I do feel the way that this series has been going, that Caitlyn should be rising in priority, and I think that makes a lot of sense. You are going to give first pick of mid lane, first pick of the junglers over to TL if they want to try to answer with that. It's maybe just going to be Ashe again, very quickly locked in, yeah.
I like the Janna ban there. I think we saw this in Game 1 where Liquid kind of understand that they need to protect against that potential duo. But, I mean, like you said, Kobe, Ashe is classically very good into Caitlyn, so I don't mind the lane matchup. Doublelift played pretty well all game long. And kind of see how the rest of it shakes out. I suppose is Trundle once again for Xmithy.
Yeah, he's been utilized very effectively as far as 5v5 team fighting. Everyone drafting multiple tanks for the front line. Bringing that Trundle jungle has been able to read a lot of stats.
Change for Dardoch.
That's one of the risks that you have, though, when you blind pick it, is you might get one of these matchups. Remember, still, though, this could be flexed to top lane for Impact to play into a potential tank from Huni. That being said, if Echo Fox is not playing with a tank, Trundle does not get the benefit of his ultimate very much, but it's also harder to run no tank compositions. And I do like the adjustment of this Trundle pick, even because when you look at some of the things they struggle with in Game 2, in the mid game especially, they were really having a hard time knocking down the front line, and Trundle can help you a lot with that in cooperation with the Ashe.
Also, there are a lot more gank opportunities for Kha'Zix. He has more utility as far as the range of his leap and trying to stealth through a bunch of brush, even rushing Moby boots very often in competitive play to try and create a lot more opportunities, as far as side lane plays and burst damage are concerned. So Echo Fox here could actually pull out a little bit of a different wrinkle.
Yeah, definitely some cool adaptations. I always really like the fact too when you see Cassio paired with more of a utility AD carry. I think that can be really nice because Cassio can sometimes carry some of the extra DPS responsibility through the mid game. So that core of 3 will definitely be able to deal with any potential tanks drafted from Huni, and I'm going to be interested to see if that pushes him onto a different style of champion.
Well, we have Alistar ban, Shen ban, and Thresh ban as Team Liquid finished their Phase 2 bans. These teams are taking a lot of time actually in this phase to kind of consider all the different possibilities. Because again, it's a pivotal game here in Game 3, and there's clearly been a lot of changes already.
And I like what Team Liquid have done here, because the big concern when you have Ashe and Cassiopeia, low mobility carries in the backline, is dive combos. You already have a Kha'Zix and Assassin here, so they try and take out the Alistar and the Shen, two very good dive partners that would want to get back to that backline and try and take them down early. So they've banned those out. Let's see what they've got here as far as the first pick, though.
Tahm Kench is available, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Tahm Kench grabbed into things like the Rise, like the Kha'Zix. I think can give your Ashe quite a bit of safety. Braum also on the table, though, and yeah, that's going to be the option.
It's also extremely good into Ashe, which is kind of the other consideration. So Huni does snap off Camille. Tahm Kench is the obvious pick there for Adrian.
There he goes out. No tank. Support tank kind of counts there, a little happy at the end. But Huni, not backing down, is going to take the Camille up to the top side and challenge Impact's tank.
Yeah, so he's just going to go likely with this Ornn. Ornn very strong into these melee matchups, and as long as Huni can not really kind of run away with it, Impact should be able to try to stabilize, just try to keep it as a farm game. It's interesting, though, because while you are definitely getting the advantage of not being as targetable, by this Trundle ultimate, and I definitely think that Kha'Zix has a big edge in the early stage and in these 2v2s, Smithy is still going to be useful in team fights, and having multiple tanks in the front line is just easier to execute in the later stages of the game.
Once again, we have Echo Fox much more willing to take the risks, take the damage opportunity here, and Team Liquid towing the line. Multiple tanks stacked up to a couple hard carry DPS backliners.
I mean, we saw how Dardoch was able to get ahead of Smithy on the Skarner game. If you can get a similar style of lead on a Kha'Zix, if you can join up with Huni, moving around, taking out Smithy in his jungle, that's definitely a very powerful, very frightening 2v2, especially in combination with you have Phoenix with the Rise ultimates, you have the Tahm Kench Abyssal Voyage. These are ways for those guys to get out to a side lane, to enable your split pusher, and really try to get him ahead.
I wouldn't have it any other way as we kick off Game 3. Liquid kind of sticking to their guns here with the tanks, especially on the top side. And Huni is slowly creeping up, in fact, the top side in general, slowly creeping up towards more and more aggressive picks.
Definitely excited to see how Echo Fox play this one out. They're well set up to 1-3-1, have some split push play, use the Abyssal Voyage from Altek, or from Adrian, even get him roaming around. Definitely a lot of flexibility, but you have to have success early on with these types of team competitions. Yeah. If a Team Liquid, the more stable sort of Turtle-esque type of composition set up here with front-to-back team fighting gets early leads, then it becomes very difficult because they just group up around objectives.
Or even if it's even, it's very difficult for Kha'Zix to jump into the middle of these team fights and find those assassinations at times. But some pretty cool stuff coming on here from Huni. Seeing him actually go press the attack as opposed to Comet, which is almost always what you will see. This is less about the early lane and more about being able to actually kill off the Ornn in the later stages. So this may make it a bit tougher for laning, but we'll see if it pays dividends.
Yeah, I do really like, since press the attack was buffed, a little bit more proc damage, and the percentage damage increase has to scale up a little bit more. Yeah. I think it's a very good place to have on top laners because they get more levels quicker. It will scale up more, and you're going to have that for the team, in which a team really needs to take down that target. You talk about diving people. This is where this type of team competition breaks. If they're not able to get that kill, the electrocute from Kha'Zix, press the attack coming in, all their damage focused on actually killing off that single person.
There's definitely been some really cool adaptations in a number of places. Now talking about Huni, but when you look down at Olay, you'll notice he's not Unsealed Spellbook. I actually think playing Guardian against Assassins as a defensive support is even nicer because you have to hit that certain breakpoint where you jump in as the Kha'Zix, you instantly kill him, or you're not going to be effective. So not only does he have Exhaust, but then you add in the Guardian Shield, and when you add in things like Locket on top of that, it becomes extremely difficult to burst through that. So cool little adaptations on both sides, and it shows that the players really are thinking through their runes and masteries and not on autopilot, which is what you want to see.
Well, checking with the junglers, looks like Dardoch did start left side. Curious to see exactly where he ends up. Smithy already over to his blue. That is buff to buff. Making sure to get those early.
Yeah, Dardoch here on the Kha'Zix can do a full clear. Kha'Zix has plenty of options, gets to stay very healthy in the jungle due to the regen off of his W, and he also has the options of trying to gank bottom lane early. Whenever you have Tahm Kench and Braum, whichever jungler presence is felt early around bottom side. Either Tahm Kench gets to stack up his passive, and you are forced to all in because he's going to eat you and spit you backwards, or Braum gets to stack up his passive, and you're going to get stunned.
That's true. It's definitely scary too when you're all inning into a Tahm Kench, because if their jungler shows up for a counter gank, you can get spat into the turret. So as you say, so much gank assist from both those guys.
Another great hawk shot though by Double If, does spot Dardoch on the red buff. Smithy also chewing through the rest of his jungle. Looks like both junglers will keep it a little bit lower key here in the early game. Phoenix did run into some troubles with trades earlier, but looks like he's pushing that wave back up, and Minion Dematerializer going to help out a little in this matchup.
Definitely will, and you can see Smithy, the path he took, going buff to buff, is about as safe as you can get. It's also something that is kind of a nod to the early jungle advantage that Dardoch could have. You don't want to get cheesed at your buffs. You don't want to have any risk of losing one of those either.
Yeah, both of them going for the full clears here. Dardoch now does pass over some wards, but doesn't matter too much as both of them are just trying to farm up. Phoenix, though, it's a little bit of an extended trade here, and Smithy is drawn.
Here at the pillar.
Ooh, now Phoenix has to run. He already procced the passive. Rune is good. Miasma not bad, but Pillar doesn't quite connect through, and Phoenix will save those summoners.
Yeah, we talked about gank options. Trundle does not have very many of them. The Pillar's kind of annoying, but nowhere near as much as some of the other popular junglers.
Yeah, it's definitely very difficult, I think, especially around mid lane. Top lane, sometimes you can find those gank opportunities when people are pushed pretty far up. Then the pillar can become pretty effective, but in general, much more about the team fighting, much more about the utility of the pillar and the utility of that ultimate.
Well, back on the bot side again. Just some farming here as Altec getting pushed in a little bit back with that Doran shield that we saw in the last game. Clearly, again, wanting to stay pretty safe in a lane versus, I would say, quite a bit more combat readiness in the 2v2. Adrian is back on Spellbook, so no need to do something too crazy. Again, if they just kind of float this lane, things will look good as Huni does get a stun in onto Impact.
Press the attack debuff is on. It's not too effective early on, as we said. The percentage damage thing was
Jungle
nerfed.
is about to pass. Yeah,
Smithy's here
Dardoch
too.
moves first. They see Xmithy now, though. In fact, Dardoch's just going to jump onto him instead. Here's the red smite already. Xmithy hasn't actually gone back yet. Huni over the top, going for a massive first blood, and they will get it. Impact, though, finds the trade.
Yeah, Impact able to trade back there, but Dardoch had gone back to base, had the red smite. Smithy had not bought, so no chance for him to win that duel.
And Huni uses his flash to go for this as well. He is secured with the extra bonus gold there from the first blood, but Impact being able to answer back with his own flash and still critically be able to pick up the minion wave that was pushed to his turret means that it wasn't too bad for Team Liquid.
Yeah, definitely not at all. So Smithy around here, Dardoch, not only does he have the red buff, he has the red smite, so Smithy really has no chance in this duel. Does a pretty good job splitting them up with the pillar, forcing the flash, gets flashed out. Huni going deep, really hoping to pick up the first blood to make that more worthwhile, because as you said, Impact gets a kill, Impact gets the farm, so his earlier buy is going to be more powerful than that of Huni.
Well, Huni has reset things back up. Not a whole lot bought, unfortunately, for him with just the assist goal from that first blood, but Dardoch kind of off to the races. He is the big early game threat on this team. As Adrian is going to TP back down the bot lane. And Impact going to TP back to top lane. Huni walked, by the way.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Impact trying to pick up all the minions at his turret.
Yeah.
Huni had a lot of time to walk straight back to the lane, so there is a teleport advantage and a possible bottom side crush map here from Echo Fox.
Yeah, Impact wasn't able to push it all the way out before he based, so you don't want to let him freeze and really kind of eliminate any advantage you have.
Especially without a flash versus a Camille Kha'Zix. Camille can engage at any time, within a lane here. And Kha'Zix has plenty of damage to follow it up.
And at level 6, I mean, Camille, locking you in. We could even see 3-man, a Rise ultimate coming in with that Kha'Zix, trying to get Huni ahead.
Dardoch does move in towards level 6. I think he's got it off this camp, so we'll see if he starts to use that evolved invisibility and really sneak around and try and force more plays. He is the one that got that early injection of gold. So expecting Dardoch to play on pretty trademark pick for him. He was known for his aggressive tendencies as a rookie. Probably going to show some of those off here in this game.
Yeah, Team Liquid, they're trying to keep up defensive warding in preparation for some more offensive looks from Team Liquid because there are so many abilities now available to Echo Fox. As you said, the Realm Warp. Also, Adrian's closing in on the level 6 for Tahm Kench, and you have to call out support recalls right now and any sort of back timings because if one of them does go missing, you have the possibility of lane swaps or, those semi-global ultimates trying to make a big play.
Definitely the case. One thing that is kind of working in Impact's favor that I always like when I am playing a top lane tank is how much physical damage there is. The auto attackers, when you look at the Kha'Zix, you look at the Camille, things like Ninja Tabes, things like the Frozen Heart become so ridiculously efficient. So we may see Impact just try to rush towards that. But then that can become a little bit of a problem if you over-index on armor and then the Rise is swapping and trying to lane against you there. There can be some different configurations that Echo Fox can try to mess that up with.
Smithy with another look mid. He's brushed by here a ton, trying to pick off Phoenix, but early Merc shots of Phoenix staying very safe after buying that tier. So I think an appropriate choice, given the matchup. Impact going to ward. Everyone's again just trying to sneak around, and Dardoch finally crossing back over into enemy territory.
It's kind of interesting to see Dardoch use this. He's one of the guys who I think does it best, kind of using it as a battle ward type thing, running through the jungle, checking out different areas, and you have to remember, you can't even be spotted by a pink.
So what he's done here, he's just gone and checked both camp timers. Seeing that both of them are down now, he knows it was just cleared by Smithy, and so he moved over to try and take this dragon, knowing that Smithy was not on this side of the map, but double as Hawkshot is the trump here for the jungle. Oh, now Michael mid.
Yeah, looking mid. Pobelter already used the miasma. Gonna get jumped on the ult, does stun him up. Cleanses out of the root from Phoenix. Smithy also here to counter gank.
Great by Pobelter there. He stuns Dardoch's ultimate use as well. Dardoch did not turn his back after showing himself. A lot of times you'll expect a very early Cassiopeia ultimate and immediately turn around after engaging on her, but he did not, and he did activate his ultimate. So that is going to be something down here as far as the early pressure.
Yeah, definitely the case. At least for Pobelter, he gets to hold on to his flash, which is definitely a big one. But even with just the cleanse down, it can be pretty tough to escape those ganks. With just the Rise W, holds you in place for that Kha'Zix. So Smithy may have to play even more heavily, trying to protect his mid laner from any potential gank.
Looks like Adrian, despite being 6, is probably going to be anchored to this bot lane for a little while. Has the TP coming back off cooldown in 25 seconds, so he's kind of ready to go for a global play, but I think Fox are appropriately playing pretty slow in this game. Huni's early woes kind of got eliminated. He's playing much safer and slower in this matchup, just trying to get his farm, and he knows he'll ramp up and kind of take over the game as things go, so Dardoch is pressuring where he can, but not overextending. That mid lane gank was just really well played by both sides, granted, but Dardoch just knows he goes in, gets not too much. Okay, fine, I'll back off.
Bottom lane pushes in now for Team Liquid. They're able to call over Cassiopeia, and that is one dead Cloud Drake.
Yeah, nicely done. Going to be able to grab that up, which will help them moving around the map a little bit, perhaps helping Smithy to keep pace with Dardoch, who's going to be moving around. And Dardoch really does seem to like to prioritize this Rift Herald. This is 3 straight games. He has been the one going for it. Does get spotted by that Hawkshot, though, and pinged out. So we'll see if TL wants to try to make a move.
Definitely going to be interesting because this Echo Fox lineup would benefit very big from starting to take down the outer turrets. They're the ones with the split push tendencies here. They have Camille and Rise, as well as a Kha'Zix that wants to take advantage of a split up team. If Echo Fox can force a situation where Team Liquid do not get to play off of set up battle lines and the synergy of having strong backliners behind the tanks, then that's where Echo Fox would be able to get their advantages. And a Rift Herald is more, focused on setting up to do that than a Cloud Drake, but the speed of a Cloud Drake, especially out of combat, kind of helps Team Liquid answer and try and counter that.
Yeah, it really does, and it's kind of that give and take, so we'll have to see which ends up being more useful. I mean, in Game 2, the Rift Herald was very effective from Echo Fox. In Game 1, it got interrupted. They got nothing from it. So that's always kind of the interesting thing about that objective to me is, great, you got it, and then what are you going to get from it, right? Because if you can get a kill and drop that, maybe you get 2 turrets, and sometimes you get nothing.
Yeah, and you have to give the upfront payment of your time in killing it, which is an investment, and you don't want to mess up that investment by dropping it on a bunch of crypto or something.
Well, pressure is mounting certainly in the game. Dardoch with Moby Boots finished, still with a ton of gold to spend. I think both teams recognizing that they want to be the first one to break these turrets down. Like you mentioned, Rift Herald is going to be the use for Fox, and I think TL are getting some traction in their bot lane. Not too much, unfortunately, on the turret side, but again, getting things done. Huni eventually will go back and buy, and this matchup won't feel quite as bad.
Yeah, but honestly, even without the buy, he's been the one doing pretty well. He's been aggressive for most of the lane, and it's been kind of fun to watch how he is playing, and he's actually hookshotting almost non-stop onto his opponent, utilizing his passive for that physical shield pretty well here, and honestly, he's doing a good job attacking the mana.
Okay, now he's getting over though. Smithy here, ready to go. Huni knows he has to get out of the way. Or not ready. Huni's got a flash. Does not use it. I think he's maybe dead regardless. Flashes after Smithy. While he flashes ultimate, emitting a little bit of damage, but it's not in time. Dardoch getting chased up by Dardoch. Phoenix gonna try and take him down. Dardoch leaps in, barely misses that kill. Oh, his own belter. And now Miasma grounds Phoenix. They're chasing it down. Smithy and Impact. They will get the kill between the turrets.
Not even close. Pobelter slithers away with a tiny bit of life. No Triumph comes in for them, and the Echo Fox members are so sad about that kill not going over.
Yeah, that feels so bad, and this is one of the disadvantages of really delaying your buy. Ornn has the passive who can be constantly shopping. He has spent all his gold. In this fight, Huni had basically nothing, so they chase him down, the Ornn ult does land, and then Smithy flashes in for the completion. There's no real damage here from Huni to be able to turn around, and then this 2v3, they try to get on Pobelter. Look at how Pobelter flashes in behind his teammates. They're both body blocking any potential Rise Qs, making sure they could not find the kill.
Definitely a good flash there by Pobelter. Evasive maneuvers, but also got to commend Impact on his Ornn ultimate.
Yeah.
You're mentioning the possibilities of flashing. He actually, once the slow hits, because the Ornn ultimate is so wide, his angle cuts off any possible beneficial flash from Huni. He literally could not flash forward in any way to avoid it because it's cutting off the entire retreat path, and he had no options there. So once that one's down, easy for Trundle to follow up. So very nicely cornered there to actually secure the kill. And now Impact double summoner advantage in the top lane on this Ornn.
It's going to feel really good, and it's harder and harder to actually attack the mana pool, which is more what Huni has been doing when he has not only the completed Frozen Heart, but his Catalyst too. Like, that's so much mana. You're probably not going to be able to push him out of lane anytime soon.
Well, Huni at least is going back and forth, but a far cry away from Trinity Force at this stage. He's going to have to team out down the waves and get that farm going. Again, the map's still not particularly open, with teams looking to take that first turret and collect the bonus gold. Dardoch channeling in mid here. I think the timer must have been running low.
Yeah, I think so too. And we kind of talk about how effective it's going to be. They see where it's spawned. Pobelter and Smithy should be going over there to actually intercept this. I think that's kind of silly play to actually not be in position when they saw it spawned in mid lane and actually even let it get the charge off in the first place.
Decent damage, but not enough for the turret. Doublelift and Ole fishing for an ulti pick here. Smithy's pillars have been on point so far. So certainly a lot of threat here again from Team Liquid to try and CC down and pick people off.
Yeah, the threat is kind of there, but look at all the defensive vision from Team Liquid. They have the red quadrant fully warded up. Dardoch just walked over the control ward, so they know he's hovering on the top side somewhere, and that means 45 seconds here for Team Liquid kind of controlling the bottom side of the map, setting up for this dragon to try and change.
Was looking like Phoenix was kind of cheating towards the top side, so they're thinking about any potential plays up there, but a fast push towards mid lane, and Trundle, tank or not, really does crush down turrets, so you have to be very wary of any time you leave one undefended.
Oh, here comes the play in top lane. They're trying to go for Impact. Dardoch here. The ult follows, but Impact is going to channel his ultimate. Huni's already locked him in, but a good dagger from Impact. Still, the damage, I think it's going to be enough. No, not quite. Impact survives.
Dardoch does a good job of evading Impact's ultimate, but in the end, he gets out. And in the bottom side, Team Liquid do claim the turret.
Yeah, there's that Trundle damage, plus them all pushing up, knocking down that turret. Impact survives. He has a double TP advantage, so he can just TP back, clear out that wave, while they look to even take the dragon.
Yep, going to TP back there, not going to give up his own turret. I like the call from Team Liquid there. They knew Dardoch was on the top side, and they made the call. We have confidence in you, Impact, to outplay the 2v1. We are going to make our play on the bottom side. It actually even harkens back to the Cloud9 series. Doublelift tweeting out afterwards, gank my top laner again, see what happens. No, they make the call. You're good enough, Impact, outplay them, and we'll gain stuff on the bottom side, Dragon as well as first turret.
And he's even a tankier boy now. He goes back, he's like, well, that was a little bit close, I'll get some tabbies now.
Yeah,
so
like, outplay, or I don't want it to get that close again.
Yeah, so Ninja Tabby's going to be super effective against that pair if they do look to attack him once more. And now we kind of have to talk about, I mean, you mentioned on it earlier, Kobe, talking about how difficult these sorts of compositions can be to execute for Echo Fox when you're getting towards the middle stages of the game. And the question becomes, you know, are they in a position where they're actually able to win these fights? And I don't think they are.
Without the map opening up as well, you don't really have alternate win conditions. So TL, knowing this, they take the timber from the bot lane, they flop it up towards the top side, double lift, and Altec both farming pretty well, similar farms, similar items, but Altec forced to swap late. Good amount of turret damage done there by Team Liquid, and the map's starting to constrict a little here for Echo Fox, which is not good news for Kha'Zix Camille.
Definitely not. Team Liquid pretty happy about the way this is going. Once they get the outer turret, again, you can switch your bottom lane. They swap Double Lift and Ole up to the top side. They continue the siege. Impact now in a little bit more dangerous territory, especially since he has no summoners. So he has to be careful about the long lane, but now he's actually going through the jungle and finds Dardoch.
Impact is very tanky boy though, as you saw. Huni, never mind, gonna dive in for it. No Trinity Force finish, gets some damage off with Precision Protocol, but not really a fight you want to commit to 3v3.
Definitely not very threatening. I honestly just really like how Smithy is playing this jungle matchup. Keep pressuring turrets. Make Dardoch come to you. Make him expose himself so he's not able to find you in the jungle, so he's not able to get these isolated 1v1s.
Show yourself! Calls him out of the
Coward!
press.
And now still the blue buff, so the extension is nice. Double lift, free time on the top lane. With all that pressure from Team Liquid in the blue jungle of Echo Fox, means that he will take down this turret. And now, 2 turrets to nothing, Team Liquid starting to build up a pretty substantial gold lead here. Playing that same sort of calculated map-wide style they've shown off.
I mean, we're kind of joking there, but it really is what you want to do with this setup is you want to call out the other team and say, you know, come away from the shadows. You know, get these assassins out in the open where we can see you. Fight me front line to front line and see what happens this time. Team Liquid now grouping them around mid. This is the last outer turret, and they just get to, you know, run this 5-on-5 straight home.
Old Ash Arrow connects.
Back looking for it. Dual, triple knockup. What a great ball there from Impact. Now knockup is going to fall. Pobelta gets the miasma stunned down. Everybody's splashing in under the turrets, and they take down Altec.
And they kill that turret off before the TP completed from Huni, so the push is on. They're just going to keep on going here. Huni is shoving a side lane, but he's not going to be able to kill these turrets as fast as a 4-man squad.
Definitely not. They take 2 in the mid lane. Team Liquid, towers just falling like butter.
I think still the trade you wanted to take for Fox, but Huni probably just could have saved his TP instead. Liquid go up 4 turrets to 1, continue to snowball ahead in gold.
And that's the problem when you get behind a team fight team. They group up as 5, as Kobe's saying, and they force the dive. The turret is low, so I like the focus from Double Lift. Finishing off the turret before Huni can come in guarantees that team fight win. And look at Dardoch. What can he really do in that fight where it's 5v4? You can't jump in. You'll instantly die. It becomes so hard if you can't find people in a side lane, and it's tough to get that pressure when you are behind.
Yeah, this is why Team Liquid sticking with this strategy game after game here. Sticking up as 5, and Echo Fox, as you can say, they keep trying to reach for these more extravagant, more exotic team styles, but not being able to pull it off here. Now they find the tank again.
Yeah,
Smithy's here too, though.
But now 2v2 is going to start. I think Smithy probably has the run of this one. Dardoch going to try and trend it down. Phoenix made his way in with the Realm Wall. Impact, he's going to be left for dead. Dardoch takes him down.
In the mid lane, though, Altec's got to get out of here.
Jukes the arrow. He needed to do that. Now the speed up from Pobelta, but Adrian here to save him. Devours his carry.
Looks like they're heading over towards Bear, and I'm not sure if they're going to be willing to set this up. No, they won't. Smithy's going bot, but I do always have to be worried about that with Cassiopeia able to burn it down so incredibly fast. That pick is going to buy them some time, though, but I really do want to call out some of the itemization here from TL. I like a lot, too. The early Knight's Vow, the locket that's being built up by Ole. More ways to deny any potential assassinations, because if Camille and Kha'Zix cannot kill someone off right at the start of the fight, they are likely not going to kill anyone.
Well, the plan continues here for Echo Fox, but Team Liquid responding well and playing the map. They go straight to the Baron using the control they got earlier.
Yeah, they have a timer on Huni's teleport as well, so they know that he cannot answer well as Impact could. As you said, Azale, there it goes. Cassiopeia has arrived, and down goes the Baron.
Pretty good magic trick. Now he's
done
he's leaping in, going for the abyss. No, doesn't get it.
Close.
Misty clutches the smite yet again.
Oh, the Ash Arrow's up now. They can go for another kill.
There's a kill into Adrian. Gonna try and get it. The stun's down. Yep. Grey Health not needed. Ole getting it. And Impact wants even more. Altec, no flash. Nets out of the way.
But they can just push up mid. That's 2 kills. That's the Baron. 5 men are alive. Impact needs to go back to defend, but this is a 4-man squad pushing a mid, and this is very likely an inhibitor.
Yeah, more standard play here. Team Liquid coming straight through. They could send one person back to speed up the minions. Right now, they've sent Impact all the way back to even stop Huni from splitting.
Well, who get a turret, but Impact's going to tie him up for a long time. Team Liquid will happily make this trade. They're going to take down the mid-inhib turret. Not going to stick around just yet. Maybe looking for another pick, but TL will exit. Adrian getting aggressive. Tom Kent is straight in front of them.
Coming in from Huni. They want to try to force this fight. They know Impact is not with them just yet.
Big attempt. They have to make it work, though. Huni gets spotted. Can't really stay. Good brush check by Ole using the Winter's Bite.
Yeah, you can't really flank the team that's got Tank in the front and Tank on the back there for Team Liquid. Grouped up there, just too strong.
There's too many of them. They're on all sides.
I have more teammates than me. What the heck?
Tank in the side lane. Now an Ocean Drake. We'll watch this one again.
Just honestly a really nice call from TL. They knew they had full vision control. Dark goes in for the Smite steal attempt. His Smite, I believe, came down first here. Yep, Smite's first. At 80 HP, it looked like Smithy Smite's there. So that was a close one, but
yeah,
they do get it. They get the kills, and they get the inhibitor turret.
Tough stuff. Dark with the attempt, but does not convert. Instead, Liquid still with a minute 50 left on Baron. Going to try and do more damage. 6,000 gold ahead. These tanks more than outpacing the current damage dealers.
With how close Stardog got in that steal, you have to wonder what the game would look like if they had Baron buff and they were able to reset afterwards. You know, maybe that does give a little bit more power to the split of Echo Fox and they get some more money to come back into it. But this goes to show how important securing that objective was for Team Liquid, because now there are not very many openings.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I always think it's even more impactful in one of these games where it's split pusher versus team fighting team, because if split push team gets it, great. You buy time, you take down turrets with the Baron buff, but if you don't get it, you don't get to split at all. You're forced to group, because with the Baron buff, you walk as 5, you knock down the turrets, you knock down the inhibitors, and you're forced into a fight. It's such a tough spot.
They spotted the rise in top lane as well. Phoenix does have TP, but Liquid are just
Not
forced
coming
into
back.
the objectives.
They're giving up 2 inhibitors, it looks like here. Just going to try to trade for a turret, maybe 2, but I mean, if you get picked off, this could just be the end.
Another knock-up there actually finds Huni. TL just splitting Fox completely in their own base.
Yeah, with the Baron buff, as Azale said, they don't even have to stop. They have minions on the bottom side. They could damage the Nexus turrets. I mean, Team Liquid, they're just going to keep going.
I mean, Huni's like cutting the wave.
There's only 2 of them there, it's just the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, they still got the wave as well. Somebody's got to come back. Phoenix finally using the TP.
Huni got halfway out the map, up into the mid lane before he teleports back, then cancels in.
Look at this spotted Dardock already. Huni's still running down, but this is a desperate-looking fight there. Team Liquid start the initiation. They find Adrian. Pobota whiffs the ult, but it's not going to matter. Pobota flushing in. Once Dardock is going to immune that stun. But Phoenix still looking, and just Fox just don't have enough resources really to fight. They will defend their base for now. Huni does not go back in.
Team play here from Team Liquid, forcing Echo Fox to group back up inside their base. Their teleports are used. They're strung out across the map. Now they're trying to collapse onto Team Liquid and find something for themselves. Huni!
He's going again to get blocked by Ole. Again, trying to get some damage down.
Dardock on the side.
Going down completely. Dardock wants an assassination, but can't find it. Huni now going to get chased down. Hook shot through the wall, but a double flash. They want to take him down. Huni slain by Impact.
And Echo Fox just knows there's no way they can take a team fight. They're hoping to pull off some of these guerrilla tactics, moving around the map, taking out turrets, trying to make TL split up and make mistakes, but TL says, nope, we'll stay as 5, we'll take your inhibitors. They go back to base, they leave as 5. They're just giving no openings.
Putting the team in Team Liquid right now as Fox trying to do a little bit of pushing. They will take the mid outer turret, but still 8 turrets to 4.
Woohoo! Never mind.
And never, you know what? Pobelts just say, yeah, I don't think so.
Feels bad, man.
Not today. I mean, this feels bad too. Artek is just hanging out with 2 items, shooting super minions.
Yeah, when the super minion is pushing you back, rough.
Yeah, it's tough stuff right there. I mean, Double F is a full Essence Reaver ahead of his opponent, basically, here. Full item up, a lot of gold in his pockets, and that's 2 inhibitors down, and it's just going to be rinse and repeat. Group up as a 5-man squad as TL, wait for those super minions to shove in, and say, all right, come to us, Echo Fox.
Well, TL happy to keep things going. They know what to do. 2 inhibs down, push the top lane, and once again, pull the assassins and the split pushers back into a 5v5 that at this point, there is very little chance of Echo Fox winning. This turret is forfeit. Fox know it. They're not going to fight here. They'll probably hit a last stand. Maybe now as they could have caught Xmithy, but not enough. Very tanky right now on the Trundle. Dardoch is trying to find the angles where everything is getting cut off by Team Liquid.
Good job on the wave clear, though. And they may be able to force TL to at least wait for the next Baron if TL wants to kind of safely close it out, and then you do have an opportunity for a steal.
Yeah, Huni also trying to push mid lane while they're defending bottom there. Got most of the wave, and Echo Fox, now they're in the position, stalling as best they can. This onslaught from Team Liquid.
One little super creep still on his way in. Another bit of damage again onto Ole, but don't really have much on these carries. Huni looking for the collapse. But like, who do you even initiate on at this point?
That's the trouble, right? I mean, you're standing there. There's a Guardian Braum with a Locket standing on top of the 2 carries. There's 3 tanks who are going to CC you instantly if you go in. There's almost no good target, right? There's just, yes, you want to get on Pobelter or a Doublelift, but they're so heavily protected. It's hard to see a world in which an assassination gets pulled off.
And there's the ult from Impact, going to try and seal this game out. Another double markup. Phoenix does get devoured, but the turret is looking unhealthy as the Nexus turret actually falls into play. The inhib in top turret will fall also in the inhib. Will join it shortly. Just a couple little things left to wrap up this game. The Nexus is actually exposed. Team Liquid just going to stride on in.
And this is looking like it's going to be all she wrote for this one. TL playing it very safe. Echo Fox has got to go right now if they want to have any chance.
Not going to go by the looks of things. Just no time to vow. And Huni dives in, trying to get down. Doublelift does have some damage, but still gets stunned. Doublelift instead takes him out, and Team Liquid will smack the Nexus, collects a couple kills on the back end of things, and be on the verge of making this finals 2-1 up over Echo Fox as they're forced back into their fountain. Doublelift, he's going to get a triple. Maybe someone's going to feed in the Penta right at the final moment, but not needed today. Team Liquid find a very strong-looking win.
Drafting for the 5-on-5 again, and Team Liquid able to weather the early game without an issue. Grouping up around objectives afterwards makes it look easy.
Really does. And honestly, this game has been such an interesting series because there's been so much pressure on top side for Echo Fox, so much pressure on bottom side, it feels like, and so much emphasis there for TL. And Impact is just doing such a good job of neutralizing the lane, right? He's not trying to do anything too crazy. He's not trying to, split push it out or get any massive advantages, but he's holding even, he's being very steady, and he's having strong contributions in every single game, and that feels like it has been enough.
I feel like Xmithy as well and the team overall, we kept on mentioning the defensive vision that Team Liquid's putting up. So, they're not only looking out for what Dardoch is trying to do, but then they set up the counters on the opposite side.
I think Echo Fox just kind of put too many eggs in the Kha'Zix basket, because even Camille wasn't getting traction in that matchup either. And as it turned out, Team Liquid just defended all their lanes, and hey, they're up 2-1. To get more on how Team Liquid brought the series to match point, let's send it over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much. Pastry time. 2-1 now for Team Liquid in this series. Back and forth it is going. And once again, some really interesting stuff happening in Champion Select here. The Trundle picked up by Team Liquid yet again, and it's doing some really interesting things to Echo Fox's draft in response.
Yeah, in game 1, we saw how good it was into tanks, so the solution for Echo Fox this time when they see it is...
Don't pick tanks!
Let's not pick tanks, and that can work in some situations. I think the Kha'Zix was a good answer by itself, but then you start also comboing with no tank top lane, and then only a semi-tanky mid laner, and you realize very quickly you have no one to walk forward really on the side of Echo Fox.
Yeah, and it means you absolutely have to win early games so you can have an unstoppable 1-3-1 with a lot of collapsing. And Rise Camille works, especially with Tom Kench, like the amount of map movement that they would be able to have.
Right.
But that is all predicated on actually winning the early game, which I don't fault them necessarily for, because they won the early game in games 1 and 2 for the most part. But
right, so to some degree, there might be that expectation on the side of Echo Fox that they can do the same thing here in game 3. Not quite enough of a lead, though, for it to manifest in a mid-game split-push victory.
Right, absolutely. And this is what we were talking about last segment, where we're saying it is hard to win 5 early games in a row, and no surprise, finally Team Liquid is going to react well to Huni's pressure. They also put more focus on him this time, I think, because he was on a carry, and if you stop Huni from getting ahead this game, like we said, you win the whole game, versus when he's on Sion, you don't need to do it as much. And some very close fights in the top lane, a 1-for-1, almost a 1-for-2, but this gets turned back around, makes it a 2-for-0 for TL, and things started getting pretty bad.
Yeah, and then once TL can start forcing Baron, the smite actually takes us to 400, then the rest of TL bursts it down. So really calm smiting, I would say, by Xmithy right there, then the Ash Arrow to follow.
Yeah, it was something that looks a little scary because you see the number tick down to 88, but you need to realize there's 5 TL people dumping damage in there, and Smithy has a smite, and Dardoch already smited. So there's almost no way, once Dardoch smited at too high of a number, that they would lose that Baron. And then after that, they just walked up to turrets, and Echo Fox is like, yeah, we'll split push.
Well, and again, I think that's where we see Echo Fox's team comp kind of fall apart. Without the lead, without that gold advantage, as soon as the Baron's picked up by Team Liquid, having that front line, having a bit of the more standard team fight engages, and the ability to control the game in that sense just made it so that Echo Fox resorted to those guerrilla tactics, as it was said by the casters.
And I mean, Team Liquid's played mostly the same way in all 3 games. And they're just kind of refining the way that they get to that point. This is also a game that I do feel like hinged a lot on those early game plays that barely went to Echo Fox. Like, if First Blood goes to Huni instead of Dardoch, and he doesn't barely get knocked into turret range after he does his hook shot wall jump, that's a lot different.
Completely different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also the kind of thing where we talked about the meta at the top of the day favoring TL. I think that you can kind of see how they have a lot of different champions that they can work with while going for this same strategy. Combined with the fact that Echo Fox is being very inflexible in their draft. Same 3 bans, 3 games in a row. TL doesn't ever have to adapt to any bans. And you're banning out Morgana, which is like the Trundle is changing how your entire team draft versus it's slightly more annoying in lane.
Series point for Team Liquid. We'll see if Echo Fox finally decides to swap up those bans. I did want to update on the over-unders that we had thrown out at the top of the day. So starting with double lifts, deaths, for the series, so far he is at 2. So again, I'll remind you that the over-under was 3.5. There's still a possible 2 games.
He just has to die twice, Mark.
Both those games were in the loss, so if they win, he hasn't died in a victory yet.
Exactly.
In all the playoffs.
Right, yeah, no, so incredible scoreline out of double lifts so far. We'll continue to track that. Next up, average game time. 32 minutes and 7 seconds average at the moment. I mean, that game itself was a 29-minute game, so that definitely helps bring the average down.
So that means it's got to go 3.5 more minutes. We need like a 50-minute game for it to go.
Yeah, to bring the whole average up, it's going to be an insanely... Hey, maybe we get a crazy... we get another quick smashing game at Echo Fox in game 4. And a crazy, you want close, long games?
Well, because game 2 was like as close as we've seen in the series, and that was still like 36. So
it wasn't a quick, close game.
Yeah, as weird as that.
Feel good about the last one, though.
All right, but see, here's the thing, right? And what makes it even more phenomenal that this number is as high as it is, 74 kills when the average game time is only 32 minutes? Are you kidding me?
So you're telling me
there's a chance. That is what we were telling you, Mark. It's gonna have to be a 6-kill victory, essentially.
I feel real clean game Team Liquid.
Yeah, I won the over/under 2-1 last week. You might be on pace to win 2-1 this week, unless Double If dies twice in a victory. Then I still get 2 out of 3.
It's not that crazy to imagine, so it's pretty close.
Feeling good.
Team Liquid swapping back to blue side, so again, no surprises there. The teams have been flip-flopping back and forth. Yet again, the red side team wins, so at some point, I got to call into question whether or not you just believe in the pattern and
if it hits game
red.
5, I feel like Echo Fox would select red side, but I will be so disappointed if Echo Fox doesn't change their bans.
Okay.
Because
and give up Swain.
Team Liquid has played 6 playoff games now. The 3 games they played against C9, same 3 top lane bans, first phase. And here, same 3 bans, Jhin, Xayah, and Morgana from Echo Fox, all 3 games. You have to change something in a best of 5, especially if you are losing.
I agree with that statement. But now I want to kind of understand why it is that teams might be doing this against Team Liquid. Does it have something to do with the idea that, as you mentioned, Mark, they have a number of different champions to all play the same style? So in a sense, it makes it hard to figure out how to attack a style that seemingly has 47 different unique makeups.
Right, so like I think we've seen enough out of Double Lift's Ashe at this point that like, okay, maybe that, like, there is always an answer. And like you said, it makes it hard to know what to do, but start banning what's working for them. So like the Swain, even though it didn't win that game, I would say it was working. Trundle 2 times in a row was working. So while they will find substitutes, force them on something else. Same thing with Apollo's, or excuse me, Hakuho's Thresh. Like, yeah, he'll probably play something else and do well, but get him off the thing he's currently crushing it on.
All right, there you have it. Some thoughts ahead of match point, rather, for Team Liquid. We're stepping away when we return. Team Liquid secure their spot in the finals in Miami? We'll find out, and soon enough, Echo Fox versus Team Liquid after the break.
I think we're gonna win 3. What about you?
I mean, at least 2.
At least 2, but I mean,
at least 3. I mean, at least 2 is not a
at
good
least
answer.
3.
I mean, at least 3. At least 3.
At least 3 sounds better.
Yeah.
Here's the red smite already. Xmithy hasn't actually gone back yet. Rudy over the top, going for a massive first blood.